As you are looking, our topic is sectors of the Indian economy. Means about sector we will be discussing, but of the Indian economy in our country, whatever are sectors about that we will be discussing. Okay, so here, as we know what there are three types of sectors: first primary, second that is known as secondary, third that is known as tertiary. It's a simple to remember. So first of all, we need to be clear what our topic is. What our topic is: sectors of the Indian economy, and especially we will be discussing about sectors. But in the context of Indian economy, we will be understanding sectors of the Indian economy. After this, here there are a lot of sentence and there are a lot of word, which is that is we need to understand. Okay, we need to understand. So whatever we will get words, and when we will realize what it is a hard word, and you can say it is an unknown word. Okay, unknown word. It is an unknown word, means this word we need to be understand. Okay, we need to be understand. So there are many economic activities that is happening around us. Means what? Meaning of this sentence is what? Meaning of this sentence is, it is the same sentence. This sentence is saying, means we live in our society. Okay, wherever we are living, so surrounding us, whatever we are looking, so there are a lot of things that is happening, but in the context of economy, what I'm saying means activities should be related to economy. And now how to identify who will be what will be economic activities and what will not be economic activities. That is known as economic activities. Non-economic activities. Okay, so like this we can identify what something. Okay, something, suppose one thing here, it is happening, there is happening, here is happening something, one thing here, this place is happening, this place here, this place there is happening, and I am saying you what it is related to economic activities. But our question is how to identify something, how to identify something which will be related to economic activities. So here there will be some hint, some key point from which we can identify. So economy, okay, activities should be what? Economy. So whatever activities is happening, okay, this place, on this place, whatever activities are happening, so these activities will be related to what? Will be related to payment, you can say, will be related to money. If this activities is giving profit to economy, to our Indian nation, to a nation, then it will be economy. Okay, so it will be easy to identify who is giving what profit to Indian economy and who is earning. But it should not be, these activities should not be self-consumption. Okay, these activities should not be self-consumption. And now self-consumption is what? Self-consumption, it is known as when we consume to ourselves. Okay, when we consume to ourselves, it will be known as self-consumption, because self-consumption don't produce profit. Okay, don't give a profit. That's why it is known as self-consumption. Means activities, something will be activities that will be known as what? Self-consumption activities. So self-consumption, let's understand through example. Okay, through example. Suppose there is one teacher and on this on same place, on that same place, uh, there are their childrens. Okay, there are their childrens. So here teacher is teaching to their children. So their children won't give profit, won't give salary. Okay, so here this teacher want to charge a payment person, because it is this teacher is teaching to their children. That's why it is known as what self conjunction means here. And here we can see some major key points such as money point, and second is what profit. So profit, about profit we are clear, but if I am teaching to my brother, I am teaching to my brother, then here obviously I want to charge payment for teaching from my brother. Why? Because this is my brother. So here, and we can say here profit is what? Profit is our brother, this is profit. Okay, here I am teaching, this is profit, and our brother will be taking education, will be gaining education from me. Okay, so here I want to charge any type of payment. Okay, I want to charge a payment from my brother, whereas my brother won't pay payment to me. Okay, why? Because this is my brother. So here, why do we need to charge payment from my brother? Okay, and it is the process. This is a process that is known as self conjunction. And here, this will not be, this process, this activities will not be included in our economy, in a nation. Okay, but it will be self conjunction. And here there are two activities that should be happen, that should be, okay, that should happen. One side that is should happen, that should be economic activities, and other side that should be what non-economic activities. Okay, clear? So here we were making understand. Here we were discussing about economic activities. Okay, non-market economic activities, and happening. Oh, so here two types of activities would be happening in our society where we live. Okay, clear? Then when we produce a good, means by us whatever are produced good. So when we produce a good by exploiting natural resources, means through help of natural resource, when we produce good, so it will come under the category of primary sector, primary sector. So these are word which is a hint of primary sector. Okay, they are produced by help of natural resource, then it will be definition of a primary sector. It will be definition of a primary sector. Clear? So in this sentence, what is learn point? What is learn point? Okay, so here point is what definition of primary sector, and definition. There are words which is getting indicated about the definition of a primary sector. If by help of natural resources there are produced good, then it will be this category will come in the category of primary sector. And the second is what? No. Why primary? Okay, why primary? Why primary? So here I would say, then my perspective, I would say, what through my perspective, primary sector, this is compulsory because this first of all, this would be what first basic needs, and this would be first compulsory needs, compulsory material. This would be known as basic needs. This would be known as raw materials. Okay, raw materials. This is because this is what it forms. This is because it forms the base for all other products. Apart from this, there are what secondary sector, and third is tertiary sector. So after this, after help of this, our secondary sector will come, our tertiary sector will come. Okay, in work, in their work. Whereas this will be first basic needs. From this help, our secondary sector will be able to produce product. Whereas after whereas help of primary, help of both the sector, primary and secondary, our tertiary will be able to produce service. Okay, clear? So it is, this sentence is saying what is importance primary. So these importance are what, this is what it forms the base for all other products, that is known as a secondary and secondary sector and tertiary sector. Since most of the natural products we get are from agriculture, so this is known as primary sector, because we are producing from agriculture, dairy, fishing, forestry. This sector is also called agriculture sector, because it is related to these materials are related to agriculture. That's why it is known as also it is known as agriculture sector as well. Okay, so here from here till here we were discussing about primary sector. After this we will understand about the secondary sector. So here we need to be clear. Okay, primary sector, which is known as raw material, which is known as natural products. So natural products, these are natural products, and if these are related to agriculture, then obviously this will be known as agriculture sector, secondary sector. And these are basic needs. These are first material which will be important for secondary sector. And this secondary sector will help to tertiary sector. So work of a secondary sector are what? Let's understand. It will cover activities. Means in secondary sector there happens what? Activities. There happens activities. So here in physical form activities would be happening. It covers activities in which natural products are converted into other product, that is known as products. Okay, that is known as goods, not service. Okay, not service. Natural products are changed into other forms through waves of manufacturing, because here if there is a happening what activities, then obviously it would be happening in physical form. So here obviously absolutely here we will be need tools, physical capital. Okay, physical capital. So here through help of manufacturing, natural products are changed, that we associate with industrial activity. Means this is what we relate what this is secondary sector as industrial activities, because this is happening activities. So in a place this would be happening. So obviously and it will be a industry. That's why and in this industry would be happening what activities for change to change what natural products into other forms and other forms. That's why it is known as industrial activities. The product is not produced by nature, rather what natural products our in our industrial activities, natural products will be changed into other product that will be able to sell to public in market. So it is saying clearly what the product will not be produced by nature, rather here has to be made, and therefore some process of manufacturing is essential. Obviously it will be important, and manufacturing tools will be essential, tools will be compulsory. Okay, and also it is called what industrial activities. So here we were clear what this is happening, and this activities is happening in physical form, then what land will be compulsory. You can say production will be compulsory, organization will be compulsory, where this happening would be available clearly. So, and this sentence is important because here we need to be understand what obviously the product will not be produced by nature if we think, rather in industrial sector there has to be made, then product would be known as secondary sector. For secondary sector, weave cloth from cotton help of cotton weave cloth are made. Okay, are made through help of sugar are made, earth into bricks, through help of bricks earth are made. Tertiary sector, this is third sector of Indian economy. About the two sector we are clear. Tertiary sector, what it tells us, let's understand. These are activities. Okay, we are clear, these are activities. These three are activities, so there are no doubt. These are activities that help in the development of the primary and secondary sector. This secondary sector will help to this both sector. Then obviously development of secondary sector, development of a primary sector will be increased, because this secondary this tertiary sector will produce will produce service. So through help of this product, our tertiary sector will be able to produce service. If there will not be able any type of a product, then how our tertiary sector will be able to produce service? Obviously this will be impossible. Okay, and here there is one point that we need to be understand, what our tertiary sector will not produce any type of a product. This is the main point of our tertiary sector. Our tertiary sector will not produce any type of a product, rather our tertiary sector will produce a service through help of product of another companies, another sectors, that is secondary sector. Other sector, that is secondary sector. These are activities that help in the development of the primary and the secondary sector. These activities by themselves, these activities means what? Activities of primary and activities of secondary. Our tertiary sector won't produce a good, but this tertiary sector are an add. or a support for the production process. Production process, who are these are production process. There are example. These are example of a test sector. Transport, through help of transport are produce a service. Storage, communication, through help of a communication there are produce product. There are purchased, there are sold. What there are sold product through banking. So here there are different way from which from this products are sold. So obviously in our country there are a lot of person in our country population are at a higher level. Obviously in our country there would be different way of producing service. So through service of communication products can be sold. Through wave of banking service products are sold. Through trade, through help of a trade products can be sold. So these are some examples of a trust sector. From here till here we are clear. Next whatever will be coming, we will be able to understand, because in one slide about sectors of the Indian economy we have cleared. We have studied about primary and about secondary, about the tertiary sector. Let's see in secondary, in next slide whatever will come apart from this we will understand deeply. We will be understanding deeply. Next slide, you can say this is a second slide. We are clear about three types of sectors of the Indian economy. First, that is known as what primary, secondary, third, tertiary. So primary sector is also known as agriculture sector, whereas the secondary sector is also known as industrial sector. Whereas while our tertiary sector is known as services sector. So these sectors are known as in other words because of work. Because work is getting related. Since these activities generate, this sentence is talking about tertiary sectors. In previous slide we were discussing about tertiary sector. So this sentence is about a tertiary sector. Since this activity means tertiary activities generate service rather than goods. So obviously we are we are clear in previous slide what our tertiary sector don't produce product, don't produce good. Rather our tertiary sector produce what service. Through service our tertiary sector helps to primary sector and the secondary sector in the development of their. Okay, so absolutely our tertiary sector will generate a service rather than goods. The tertiary sector is also known as a service sector because this sector is known as more service sector, because our tertiary sector produce services. That's why our tertiary sector is known as service sector. It also includes aspects like teachers, doctors, lawyers, ATMs, software companies, and others. There are a lot of who are producing service. So through teachers, teacher produce through teaching method. Our teacher produce what service. So teaching method, you can say teaching method is service. I am teaching you, I am telling you, I am teaching you. So here I am producing what a service. So service is what a teaching. Whereas you can say what I am not producing any type of good, That's why this activities is known as a service. This is known as a service, but it will not include these activities will not include in economy of our country, because here there are not being produce what profit. If in return I get what I get salary, you can say I get profit, then we can say what it would be known as what it would be known as economic activities, that is included in GDP, in economy of a nation. Clear? So you are looking teacher, doctors, lawyers, work of these service person are different. That's why uh, service earning method will be different of this service, because service is a different. So here in our country there are a lot of people who are living in a country. So obviously these people would not be producing would not be producing same work. You can say one work. Here people are working a different their work. Okay, that's why here uh, our teacher will be important in our economy, in our GDP in different way, whereas our doctors will be important but in different way. So importance of a doctor is in different way, and whereas all this importance of all this service person will be different in different way and others. Okay, so here there is one point over there. These service person are would be producing what service, not product, not a good. Okay, and you can say these are aspects of tertiary sector. In a tertiary sector, this service person are include. Comparing the three sectors, what are found out? What are found out? Okay, what are found out? Comparing the three sectors. Here, we would be saying what? Here would be saying what through the comparing sector we can see what how our how does our primary sector work and what does our primary sector work, and other side our secondary sector, what does our secondary sector work. Okay, who work high, who work low, who work with quality, who work with quality, and who work with unquality. So through comparing the three sectors there can be found out the three sectors have various people working for them. Obviously in private sector people will be working, but whereas in secondary sector people will be different people in compared to primary sector. Person who are working in primary sector, whereas in secondary sector people will not be same who are working in primary sector. So this person who are working in primary sector, this person will not be able in secondary sector. And this is the meaning of this sentence. The three sectors will have various people working for them. They have various production activities involved. What is this saying? What is this saying? It is saying what production. Our tertiary sector produce what? Our tertiary sector produce service, not a product. So here work of tertiary sector is different, whereas our work of secondary sector is different. How? Because our secondary sector help to convert into other form. Natural products are converted into other forms. Okay, so here production activities in different way. There are in different way production activities of each sector. It is important to see who will produce more and how. Obviously, through comparing the three sectors, because not only in this method we can see, when we compare something between two things, then we get what you can say truth, harsh truth. When when there are fighting two person, so here notice third person notice what third person notice uh, mm, uh, fighting two person. And obviously when we find out a difference between two things, then we realize what is important in this thing, what is important in these things, what are cons in these things, what are pros in these things, like this. Whereas through comparing of something thing, we can see what we can see difference, we can see quality, we can see time. So through comparing we can find out a lot of things. Okay, so through comparing the three sectors we can see what who will be producing more, and who would be producing more, and who would be producing how. The final goods and services are included in the counting. The final goods, not intermediate goods. Here why final word is coming? Why final word is coming? Because this sentence wants to be clear. This sentence wants to make clear. In our GDP, in our economy, the final goods and service will be included. Not intermediate goods and service will be included. Okay. About final and about intermediate, let's understand now. Right now, final goods, that is known as when we consume. Okay, when we consume, when we will be able to consume things, then we can say what this will be final goods. Whereas something that is not able to purchase, then obviously it will be intermediate. And intermediate, there are included more thing, there are added more thing. So in intermediate there would happening activities. Okay, and intermediate, between intermediate and final goods are included tax. Tax is compulsory when material comes in market, then tax are included in our material who are able to sell. Okay, final goods, like this we can understand when goods will be able to sell in market, when goods will be able to purchase, this will be final goods, and this final goods will be available in market, Whereas how to identify who will how will good be final, intermediate. So intermediate, obviously intermediate good will not be able in market. Intermediate goods and service will be available in production house, in factors where are made. where are prepared. Okay, prepared. Final goods that will be uh, consuming good and service where we can consume. In intermediate and intermediate goods and service will not be able to consume. Clearly, clear. Why okay, why only final goods are why only final goods and services are counted in our counting method? Why not intermediate goods and services are not counted in counting method? Why these are a difference? Why are these a difference? Let's see the question of why only final goods why intermediate goods and services are not counted in counting method in GDP. Okay, in economy you can see in a foreign nation. Wheat used in making wheat are used. So here wheat will be intermediate, whereas wheat flour will be what? Wheat flour that is known as flour. So wheat flour, this is final good. But here this is saying what? Wheat used in making. There is making. So here activities is happening. That's why this is intermediate product. Activities is happening. You can see making. Wheat used in making wheat flour. So this activities is happening. That's why it is intermediate product. Whereas this good adds in making the final product. Okay, here this working is in factors. In this making goods are added. Whatever will be compulsory, whatever will be required for making wheat flour. Hence, only the final goods and services is counted as the intermediate good is already included. Because in final goods, intermediate will be already included. That's why only final goods. And services are counted in counting method, because intermediate goods and services already are included. Okay, already are included. Okay, this is answer of this question. And this is saying what? In final goods and services, our intermediate goods and services are included already. So why do we need to add again? This will be double issue. Same thing. Why do we need to include again? Obviously this is not compulsory. This will not be compulsory. Next is as you are looking GDP, gross domestic product. After this, and in this sentence are words that defines about GDP, gross domestic product. Gross means total, products means goods, service, domestic in a tertiary sector, in a territory areas. Okay, territories areas. So total goods and services in territories means should be one nation. Okay, should be one nation, should not be included to another nation in our nation. Clearly, it is the point. It is the meaning of domestic. We will be discussing about meaning of domestic. The value of final goods. Value means what? Means value of a good. Suppose value of this marker, what will be there? What will be there? So obviously value of this marker, I am saying what value of this marker is 25 rupees. So 25 rupees is value. And this is saying whatever will be value of final goods and services in our nation, this rupees, this earning will be known as so total value of final goods and service will be known as GDP total. Okay, the value of final goods and services are produced in each sectors during a particular year. Particular year is compulsory to define GDP. Okay, to define GDP. So in each sector, we discussed about three sectors. So in our country, in our nation, there are worked in three waves. First of all, in primary way, and second is in secondary way, and third is in tertiary way. Today status, what are status of tertiary sector in our India country? Work of people is high in tertiary sector. Today people are working more in tertiary sector, but whereas there are seen through our from our history, then primary sector are worked more. Time is what? 1947. From 1947 people worked more in primary sector, then gradually people worked what? In secondary sector, because industry was compulsory, and today industry is compulsory, and industry is working in their way, in their work. So today status of work of a people is what? Is in tertiary sector more people. So in each so here these words do clear what? These words do clear means who person are included in GDP. Our person who are working in primary and secondary sector, in tertiary sector, this work of a person, that is person that produce of products and goods is included in GDP. So goods and services are produced by this person, by these sectors during a particular year. Provides the total products of this sector for that year. for that year. Clearly, the value of final goods and services are produced by these sectors, by three sectors during a particular year, that produce the total production of a sector for that area. This is a half a definition of a GDP. Okay, the sum of what is produced in three sectors, whatever is produced in three sectors, it is called the gross domestic product. The sum of whatever are produced in three sectors, in primary sector, in secondary sector, and tertiary sector. In this sector, that is known as gross domestic product. So sum is compulsory to define GDP. It is the value of all final goods and services produced within a country. So in a country, it is necessary the final goods and services should be produced within a country during a particular year. So the value of all final goods and services that are produced should be in a country during a particular year. From here till here we are clear. In next slide whatever will come. Apart from this, we will be discussing in deeply. We will understand. Apart in this slide, we will discuss about employment as well. GDP that show us how big the country will be. Okay. Obviously, GDP will be better, then country will be better. GDP will be better, nation will be better. Whereas GDP will be better, then GDP will tell us about the status of our country. GDP will be better, then the economy of a nation will be better. So GDP will tell public your country is how, your country is what. Next is historical change. In previous slide we were discussing about GDP. So we are continue. Let's see historical change in sectors. What happened historical change in sectors in our past time? Historically, primary sector was the most important sector, was the most important activity. As farming methods involved, the production output increased. Production output this would this output had increased, but primary sector employed most number of people. That's why it is said our primary sector was the most important sector and also most important activity, because this was a time when our green revolution had come in our country. Because of a green revolution, our work of a primary sector had increased. Then gradually our industry had increased. Okay, and here we can say what because of a green revolution our primary sector became most important sector. Then gradually our as farming method, our output and production had increased, and then this was the sector who were giving employed to people. But what happened then? Okay, till here was better, but in the next, what happened? What had happened? Manufacturing and factories expanded. Manufacturing and factories had expanded and had grown. Okay, gradually, because of this primary sector, because of massive primary sector, because of increased primary sector, to be increased primary sector, to be increased important of primary sector, people started. Then when manufacturing and factories had expanded, then in these factories was need of people. Then people started to be employed here. The secondary sector gradually became the most important in total production and employment. Gradually became this secondary sector became the most important sector. GDP by primary, secondary, and tertiary sectors in India. The production in the past 40 year has our production has increased the most in tertiary sector. In past 40 year, our production of tertiary sector has increased most. As a result, in the year, as a result, and you can say as per according to data, in the year 2013 to 14, the tertiary sector emerged as the largest producing sector in India, replacing the primary sector. Means, as you know, primary sector was most important sector in our historical time, but our tertiary sector replaced the primary sector. Today in our country, importance of tertiary sector is high, and today people are working in tertiary sector the most. Why is the tertiary sector becoming so important? Today, this is talking about today. Means today, as we are looking, growth of a tertiary sector. So why is the tertiary sector becoming so important in India? The growth of a basic service. The reason of growth are what? Basic services such as health, education, transport, financial resources, financial services, defense, and others. These are resources. First of all, these are service. First of all, we are clear. These are resource, and whereas these are basic service. These are basic resource. These are basic needs of a life of a person. Okay, that's why our tertiary sector became so important, and that's why our tertiary sector is becoming so important in India today. As like, okay, health, importance of health is in life of a person, and these whatever we are looking, these are major service to produce public. In a developing countries, the growth has to take responsibilities for the provisions of this service because these are basic needs, and obviously our government will be responsible. So, and here government needs to pay attention on public, among public, in the regarding of this service. Our government will permission to produce this service. Okay, not only in our country, these are service that are produced in our country, also in another country, in other country are produced this service, and this service are said what as major service. Dominance of IT, information technology, that is known as, that is said information technology. Dominance of IT and communication service in a recent has increased. So these are what? These are service. So here we are looking what growth of service, and in a recent time these service have increased more. Service of this have increased more. Okay, from these are answer of this question. From here till here we are clear about this question. Why was the taxi sector becoming so important in India? Okay, because of our this major basic service, our taxi sector was becoming so important. And then in a recent time these two types of service became most important in their work. How can be created more employment? How to create more employment? There are major method from which there can be created more employment. There should be better infrastructural support, then there can be created more employment. There should be better access to technology, then there can be increased, there can be created employment by better infrastructure, by better access to technology. So let's understand about this better infrastructural support. Infrastructure, as we know, our government school, universities, college, road, then airport, and climate, environment, yeah, development in rural, development in urban. So hospital, education, our government school, universities, these are infrastructure, and this will be better, then obviously our people will get work, then people will be employee. If infrastructure will be better, then by support of infrastructural, employment can be created. Better access to technology. Today we are looking help of technology in life of a person. Technology is working better by some person. Then here, through help of internet, people are working as employment person. Yeah, am I right? We can see in today time. Better access to industries. If access to industries will be better to work. So people absolutely people will go to work in industry if access will be better to go in industries. Okay, and industries should be available then, and here there should be access to industries. Better storage facilities to farmers. Better storage facilities, that is known as in other word what buffer stock storage, where farmer can keep food grains, can sell food, their material, their crops material. So obviously better storage facilities should be available from which our farmer can sell, okay, can sell in better storage facilities. Food, if storage facilities won't be better, then our farmer will not be able to sell. Food processing facilities to the farmers. Food processing facilities to the farmers. So food processing facilities to the farmers. Obviously, whatever happens when method of food, method of doing agriculture, this process will be better, then our farmer will be increase to crop more food vegetable. Here our government will be involved in this matter, in this process. Our government that announce MSP would not be better, would not be will not be able to be interested, then obviously our government, our farmer will not be interested in doing agriculture. From here till here we are clear. In next slide let's see what happens, and apart from this whatever will come in the next slide we will be discussing deeply, clearly. Let's see, this is the next slide as well. Okay, in India about 60% of the population, 100% of the population, this is clear, but out of 60% of the 100% of 60% of 100%. So in India about 60% of the population belongs to the age group of 5 to 29, between 5 to 29 years. So how many? 60% of the population belongs to the age this is age, and out of this only about 51% are attending educational institutions, you can say college, universities, and yeah. Job creation has been a key phenomena across various sectors like education and health. Job creation has been, means by education, by health can be created what a job. So here teachers are teaching to their students, so this is what, this is a job. So through help of education there are being created what, job. And health will be better of a person, then obviously in work same person will be able to do work. Yet there are many unemployment individuals who are people who are educated, people who are healthy person, and through this help, through this service, through this in this sectors people are working as employment, and obviously in sector of education and sector of health they are given job to people. but 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 after this, but yet there are many unemployment individual instead of, okay, instead yet there are many unemployment individual, okay. Apart from this central government in India, in our country, made a law implementing the right, that is right, the right to work. So now people will be able to work because people have the right to work, okay. And that is across 625 districts. Let's see what is that work that is called it is what it is called Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act by central government. This act made, okay. And aim of this what aim of this act what aim of this act is to produce jobs, to produce employment. People who will have this people who available, people who will be able to this, then people will have 100 days of employment. This is across 625 districts. Under this act, all those who are able to work and are in need of work in rural areas, rural people are granted 100 days of employment in a year by the government, because these are made by government, and government will provide these 100 days of employment. And as you're looking what job creation by government. So this was introduced in 2005. About it we have discussed multiple times in backslide, in multiple previous lecture. Okay. Our program, this where it is known as schemes, where it is known as what program act, okay. And this act is giving employment to work to people in rural areas, and this is for rural people, because urban people can work in their area. It is called, okay. This was introduced in 2005, and this is across 625 districts in India, and these are made by government, by central government. And now people have the right to work. Clear. If the government will fail in its duty to provide employment, then it will give unemployment allowance to the people. It will give unemployment allowance to the people. When the government will fail, then obviously then other government, other opposition party will raise a voice for this, okay. This is made for public, this is made for rural people, rural areas. Who are the ones who need production? Let's say who need production. Who are, okay? Agriculture labor? Obviously, no. Absolutely no. I am going to speak what people who will be a small. Same people will be need production, but I am wrong. Who need production? These people need production. Agriculture labor, and our farmer is who who work in their agriculture land. Why? What for? For food material, for agriculture food. Okay, so absolutely these people will be need production. Blacksmith and goldsmiths, whether they are blacksmiths or goldsmiths, it doesn't matter, but both need production, both need production in their work. Okay, blacksmith, that is what, a small person, whereas goldsmith person, that is a big person, a rich person. But here this person will be alert, will be need to be alert. And in importance of this importance of production of this person is different as compared to this production of this person. A small and a marginal farmers, do you know? Farmer who work in their agriculture land. When a small farmer, a small worker, this point will come, obviously this will be able to be production. How can they be supported? If this person need production, then how can they be supported? Can be supported. A small scale industries needs the government supports for procuring raw materials. A small scale industries. So this industries needs the government's support for procuring raw material. So procured Food Corporation of India purchase raw materials from agriculture, from farmers. So this Food Corporation of India helps to a small scale industries. So a small scale industries where our government sells their food grains to these industries, and now government will not support to this small scale industries. Obviously our farmer will not be protect. If a small scale industries will be better by government, then other work will be better. Here you are looking, our government will purchase raw materials from this small scale industries where our farmer sells to this small scale industries. You can say this is what, middle person, okay, between person. We also found that the majority of workers from scheduled castes, tribes and backward communities find themselves in the unorganized sector. If this type of a person are found in the unorganized sector, so obviously absolutely this person sometimes will be better, sometimes this person will be none better, because here you are looking what, rule of majority, not a rule of a government. So rule of a government will be violent, then you can see, you can feel feeling of this person. Violent, what are violent? Violent means this person are working 12 hour, 10 hour, whereas need to do work how many hour? 8 hour by the government rule. But by order of majority, by order of majority people are working 10 hours, 12 hours, then obviously this will be known as violent 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 violent. Okay, so we also find, and this is issue for government, for public, for these people. These workers also face social discrimination. Okay, yes, absolutely. These people will face, will realize as a discrimination. Protection and support to the unorganized sector workers are thus necessary for both economic and social development. If among people will be discriminated, then how people will take a decision next? How people will take a decision? That's why this is how that show us protection and support to the unorganized sector workers are compulsory for both economic and social development. If production of unorganized sector will be better and support of unorganized sector will be better by government, then economy will be growth, social development will be growth, and there would not be what social discrimination. There would not be lack of growth of economy. This too should be better. Okay, from here till here we are clear. In the next slide, let's see whatever will come apart from this. We will be discussing deeply, clearly. Let's see what comes. This is the last slide of this chapter. What are in this slide? There are about public and private. We will understand the difference between public and private, whereas related to this we will be discussing next. Public and private, let's define it in their definition. Public, that is known as also what a government, whereas private means ownership, on of owner. The government owns most of the assets and provides all service. All service provides all service. Our government provides all service, such as for example Indian Railways, defense, more on whatever are there, there are service in our country. So we will provide, our government will provide this type of a service. So owner of this service and owner of this asset, who are our government. Our government will be able of this owner of this service. Ownership of assets and the delivery of a service is in the hand of private individuals or companies. This sentence about private and this sentence about public is about public. So ownership of assets and ownership of service, that is of private person. Ownership of assets and the delivery of a service is in the hands of private. That's why it is known as private sector, private individual, private companies. And this service, as you are looking, this service is of private companies, private individual person. More features of public and private, what are there? More feature. Private sector aims at getting more profit. Private sector wants what are desire of private sector? there are desire what at getting more profit, whereas our government sector to wants our government sector is for welfare. Our government will provide welfare among people. Private sector aims at getting more profit. Yeah, there is a normal point, there is, you can say, high point to understand. In public sector, the purpose is that the people's needs are met. According to need of people, our government will provide service. According to need of people, our government will pay attention on among people. What are okay, the funds for the same are raised through taxes and the expense are made. Our people will pay tax where to government, and our government will expand on infrastructure for public. This is how our government will get funds, and our government will get payment taxes, and from help of taxes, our government will be able to expand on infrastructural sector. Private sector also provides this service. This service is same service also provide, but there is a condition. What at higher cost our private sector provides this same service, and that's why some of people don't go to private sector. I'm not saying completely people don't go to private shop. Some people who don't have payment to consult in hospital. Okay, this is example. Okay. Private sector also provides this service, but at higher cost. These are main difference between public and private. That's why they are considered different in different world. Status of affairs in India. Let's see what are state of affairs in India. India's size of illiterate who are uneducated person, and here word literate, then it were educated person. India's size of illiterate population is one of the largest in the world. Obviously, according to census, according to population, our government, our India is at higher in regarding of illiterate population. Similarly, we know that nearly half of India's children are malnourished. If people will not have awareness, will not have information about food, about government, about a lot of things, then obviously most of the people would be facing what this from this type of disease. Government also needs to pay attention to aspects such as availability of safe drinking water, clothing of a person to rural people. Here government will be responsible to pay attention among rural people. Our government will be responsible. That's why it is saying government also needs to pay attention to aspects such as you are looking, availability of a safe drinking water. These are not able. That's why children are getting malnourished. Water, okay, housing facilities for the poor, and food and nutrition. This will be better. Okay, this will be better than our children's will not will not will not get what will not get malnourished. It is also the duty of the government to take care of the poorest and most ignored regions of the country through increased spending in such areas. Meaning of this sentence are what our government also will be responsible here. What our government will have to take care of the poorest where there are ignored regions there are most ignored regions where government will be able to take care among these regions of the country of our in our country through increasing through help of taxes in such areas. Our government can help to this poorest person to this ignored regions through spending through increased spending. Our government can help. And here as we can say what solution of poorest section, solution of most ignored region, how can be solved. So through taxes who are our public are paid taxes to government, then now government will be able to uh, to remove the poverty and the uh, disease in and problem in ignored regions. Our government will be able to remove. Okay, from here till here we are clear about private and about public. We saw in this slide, whereas some report we saw in the next slide. That's all.